here's a question. I want you to see this in your spiritual eye of imagination. Oh, don't tell me you ain't got one. I've seen some of those things you imagine. I just know that they're me. I can just imagine what they're saying. And we caught that attitude. Thank God there ain't nobody in here like that. But can you see Abraham? He's got his promise laying on the altar. My God, he knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's heard the voice of God. God, this is my only son. Does that ring a question in your mind? Honey, God gave his only son. But now here's Abraham, and he stretches little Isaac out on the altar, and all of a sudden he raises that knife up in accordance and obedience to the word of the living God. And I believe, and since I'm preaching it, honey, I just preach it like I believe it. I believe Abraham lifted that knife up, and just at the split second when he started to come down, he heard the voice of God. Stop, Abraham! Stop! Stop! Stop right there! Abraham, I had to see if you really love me. Abraham, I had to show you that I am Jehovah Jireh. I had to show you that I am the sacrificial lamb. Abraham, stop. You can keep your baby going. Take it back home with you. I had to show you that I am the Lamb of God that I said I am. You cannot get from this place to the place that God's trying to take you without walking through a season of understanding. Hello? There's some things that we'll never be able to understand. Never. You may be asking yourself, God, where am I? Why is this happening? Believe me, I asked God that. He told me I was going to have 5 bypasses. I said, let me talk to my wife. She come in there, Pastor, you know what she said to me? She come in, her, Pastor Tony Rogers. How many remembers the pastor I brought with me? He played the keyboard for me a little bit. A dear friend of mine. Both of them came back there in the room. My little cupcake said, Dad, I had tears running down my face, Pastor. I was crying like a baby. She said, Dad, what's wrong? I said, babe. He said, I'm going to have open heart surgery. My little cupcake don't say a whole lot. But what she says is usually full of wisdom. You hear me, husband? You better pay attention to that spouse. That's right. Come on. This means yes. Because here's what I believe. I believe women are more sensitive to the Spirit of God than us men are. Come on. I didn't say that for an applause. I said it because I really believe it's the truth. That little cupcake come in there. She said, I just sat there on that, still sitting on that bed. He told me, he said, don't try to get out there, sit there. She said, what did he say? I said, babe. He said, I'm going to have open heart surgery. You know what, that great woman of God, that woman that's full of wisdom, you know what she said? Put them hands on that hip. This is what she said. Let's get her done. It ain't you. She said, we're still going to get her done. God's honest truth, that's what she said. After I come out of surgery, a few days later, I asked her before I left the hospital, I said, let me ask you something, great woman of God. Wasn't you afraid, my God, I'm 60 years old, wasn't you afraid something might have happened? She said, Jen, God is my witness. I had a peace like I've never had before. She said, I knew you was going to go through it. I knew God was going to bring you out of it. That's the reason that I said I believe women are more sensitive to the Spirit of God than we are. Get her done. And if I want her to know I said that, I'll be the one to tell her. But you see, we all walk through seasons of not understanding. I don't understand a lot of things that God does. I don't understand a lot of things that He says. Are you hearing me? You may be in the same boat right now. You may be asking yourself, God, why? Where am I, God? Where am I? Why is this happening? Where is God when I hurt? This must be a pastor thing. Pastor is always there for you. Close your ears up, Pastor. But here's my question to every one of you. Where are you when the pastor needs you? We're going to talk about Nathaniel. I ain't got to talk about him for a long time. This little brother right here, oh, excuse me, his big brother. From day one, Pastor Larry, that I met this brother. He didn't know me from Jack Adam. But when I finished, he got my Bible, and he got my glasses, and he got my jacket, and took care of me. And he still does it today. Are you hearing me? Your pastor and his lovely wife shouldn't have to clean the church. Shouldn't have to worry about anything. Shouldn't have to worry about whether there's toilet paper in the bathroom. It shouldn't have to worry about whether the trash is picked up in the park. Is there anybody in the house here today? And on top of all that, I think I'm just going to sign him as my booking agent. Every time I come to the state of Indiana, I've booked 3 revivals since I've been here. From here, all the way through Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma City, all the way to the West Coast again this year. Are you understanding what I'm saying? But there's times that I think, God, where am I when I heard? That hospital knew that I didn't have insurance. I got out of the hospital and I sat there in the house, Brother Larry. And they said, we're going to give you 2 weeks and you're going to have to come up with $5,000. And here I am, my chest just been put back together with super glue. That's what they put it together with. I ain't got staples. They call it body bond. They said it heals better, less chance of infection. And the scar, you can't hardly see that scar in my chest now. But I was sitting there thinking, God, what am I going to do now? And I had to walk. I walked out to the end of the driveway, turn left and go down to the post office just a short distance. And there was a get well card from the House of Prayer right here in Ellettsville with a $500 check in it. Oh, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Went to the mailbox again. There was another gift of love. The last day of the second week, I had the $5,000 of credit. West Hospital in Knoxville, Tennessee reduced my bill from $71,000. The hospital bill was $71,000. They called me and said, preacher, here's what we're going to do. We're going to help you out. You give that $5,000, now we're going to knock it down to $41,000. Are you hearing me? The anesthesiologist is a lady anesthesiologist. My wife called her and told her we didn't have insurance and she just had to give us some time. She knocked her bill down from $6,000 down to $3,000. Oh, that may not mean a lot to you. Where is God when I'm hurting? Where is God? What's going on? Why do bad things always happen to good people? I don't know. If I knew the answer to that question,